We're at the Tampa Bay Pro Combine with Matt Babcock, the co-chairman of the Player Selection Committee. I want to ask you, this was a fantastic event. We were all blown away. I've been talking to people about it. You guys had so many great players here, and you were responsible for that. So many great coaches. Now that the event's over, it's been a crazy couple of days. What are your thoughts on just how it went?
I thought it went really well. I'm really happy with the quality of the play.
Yeah.
It's the first year the event went on, and we put it together pretty quickly. At the tail end of a pandemic, which was a little bit of an interesting, deal. But the players really came to play. They played hard. They played the right way. Moved the ball. Took good shots. Seemed like a lot of guys became friendly with each other. Just overall, just a really, really positive event.
So you were an agent before, so you come from that world, so you know what an event like this can do for prospects. Now you're interacting with a lot of agents, and that's how you got a lot of players on board. From what you've heard from different agents, what feedback are you getting as far as how this helped their prospects and the exposure that it helped them with?
I'll just speak from my personal experience rather than what agents are saying to me, right now. But I think the biggest thing, most of these kids were seniors, and they're in a very vulnerable part of their career. There's so much uncertainty about what's next, and so getting exposure in a new environment, can only give them an opportunity of doing something new and showing something new, and so hopefully, a lot of teams overseas, NBA teams, G League teams, are watching the live streams and seeing something different, and hopefully moving the needle for them, and having the possibility of getting a new opportunity.
And do you guys want this to become an annual event? And in the future, do you think it's going to be NBA certified?
Yeah, the plan is to have it every single year. As far as it being NBA sanctioned, I'm not quite sure that's the league's office's call. We've had some good conversations with them, and the way I understand it is next year, in a typical year without the pandemic, the scouts would at least be able to come for skill work, 2-on-2, 3-on-3.
Okay.
The sanction would just allow the 5-on-5, access.
Gotcha. And so when you guys were, figuring out which players to invite, what was that process like? How did you determine who to extend an invitation to? And because like I said, the 40 plus guys you got here were really impressive. So how did that come together?
The first thing, they brought me in, and I brought in Fran for Shilla, who's a mentor of mine, a friend of mine, and the priority was seniors first and foremost that had no interest in going back to school. Obviously, we have a weird rule this year where seniors are allowed to go back, which eliminated a large part of the player pool, compared to typical years. Because so many seniors are going back to school, but we did want to prioritize the seniors because Portsmouth was canceled, and wanted to make sure these kids were getting a proper level of exposure. And the idea was not to try and compete with the G League Combine or the NBA Draft Combine. Just add something that gave basketball something they can use and make sure kids are getting the proper level of exposure.
The coaches were great too. You guys brought in James Posey, Xavier Silas, Bob McKinnon. You guys had so many big names and guys that have not only coached for a while but played as well. So and so many of the guys talked about that, just the advice they got from these their coaches. So how did that come together? How did you guys figure out who was going to be coaching?
It's pretty much all the coaches had a relationship with either Fran or I. So we different relationships. Jesus Verdejo was also a coach. Was my teammate at the University of Arizona.
Yeah.
Then ended up transferring to USF right down the street. Was a standout player there. Xavier Silas was a client of mine for a little while.
Oh, right.
Doc Martin worked with me at Babcock Hoops, and then Bob McKinnon and Fran are really good friends. And so, we just knew they would bring a certain level of energy and focus to the event, and they did. They really helped, make this a great event.